On certain nights, when the moon is full, he's out there, stalking in the woods. If you say his name above a whisper, he'll hear you, because he can be anywhere, at any time. And if he hears you call his name, he'll come for you. And he'll get you. His name is Mars. Madman Mars. Now, I did a review of the standard Blu-ray that Vinegar Syndrome released for Madman back in 2018, I believe. So I won't go into as much detail on the movie here as I did in that video. I mostly want to talk about this new 4K UHD release. But I love Madman, and I don't get to talk about the movie very often. So I'm going to talk about it. Madman is one of the many backwoods slashers that was released in the early 1980s following the runaway success of Friday the 13th at the box office. It didn't make the same waves as Friday the 13th back in the day, but Madman found an audience on home video, an audience that has steadily grown over the years. The film is based on the Cropsey legend, a popular folktale that was told around campfires in the Northeast. But it wasn't the only slasher based on that particular legend, released in 1981. If you've ever heard anyone talk about Madman, chances are they also mention The Burning, and vice versa. Of the two, personally, I prefer The Burning, but Madman is no slouch in the slasher department, and has nearly all the same charm. It's a stylish slasher. There's a cool campfire opening in which one character sings a little ditty about the madman, while we get brief glimpses of the main characters later on, in peril. The foreshadowing is actually pretty creepy. One minute you're surrounded by friends enjoying a spooky ghost story in the warm campfire light, and then the next minute might be your last minute. The movie takes place entirely over the course of one night, one very dark, very blue, and very cold-looking night at a camp for gifted children. The cast here is pretty good, led by Gaylen Ross. Alexis Dubin. Ross's use of that pseudonym in Madman is kind of its own folk tale. I'd heard in the past that she didn't want to be associated with Madman in any way, even going so far as to refuse to sign Madman posters at conventions. The truth of the matter is, she was a SAG actress, and this was a non-union film. Madman features one of my all-time favorite slasher characters, Ellie. Sweet Ellie, you were just too precious for this cruel world. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Madman also introduced us to a cool new slasher villain in the form of the Madman. And you've got to love that theme song. It's not the bloodiest slasher of that era, but we are treated to a cool hanging sequence and a beheading brought to you by Madman jumping on the hood of a truck. The last act of Madman doesn't play out like your typical slasher movie of that era either. There's no extended cat and mouse chase sequence. Instead, our final girl seeks Madman out for a confrontation. The movie also doesn't end like most 80s slashers either. I, for one, dig that. If you're a fan of 80s slashers, then Madman is a must. As for this new 4K UHD release from Vinegar Syndrome, first let's take a look at the presentation. This release comes with a slipcase featuring new artwork from the Dude Designs. The sleeve is reversible. On the reverse we have the original poster art. There's the discs. On the left is the standard Blu-ray, and on the right is the 4K UHD. Now, when it comes to 4K UHD releases, I get asked all the time, is it worth the upgrade? And in most cases, the answer is, it depends. A lot of people are cool with just standard Blu-ray, and there are still a lot of people who are fine with DVD. Vinegar Syndrome's new 4K UHD release for Madman is an upgrade over the standard Blu-ray. But you may need to ask yourself these questions prior to buying it or any other 4K UHD. Do you own a television that will bring out the detail, the depth, and the ultra-high resolution that 4K can provide? Do you have an audio setup capable of transporting you right there to the middle of the action with that 5.1 surround mix? The picture quality on this release is highly detailed, and the colors, particularly the reds and blues, are quite vibrant. The shadows aren't muddy or grainy looking apart from a couple of instances. Just about all the exteriors looked absolutely fantastic, awash in this chilly blue hue. And some of those sequences are so crisp and so clean, it looks like they were filmed last week and not 40 years ago. The damage to the source negative that was visible on the standard Blu-ray is even more visible here, particularly during the hot tub scene. And I've been asked about the scenes that were shot out of focus. Well, they're still out of focus here. As for the audio quality, I used this release to break in my new Samsung soundbar with subwoofer. It sounded really good. I'd give the picture quality on this release a solid 4.5 out of 5 and the audio quality a 4 out of 5. There's only one new extra on this release, but it is a doozy. It's I'm Not a Screamer, a brand new interview with actress Gaylen Ross. It's 19 minutes and 30 seconds in length. Miss Ross discusses being asked by producer Gary Sales to star in MADMAN, filming in Long Island in the fall, how intense and difficult the shoot was due to filming all night in the cold. She discusses being disappointed by the ending of the film, not wanting her character in either Dawn of the Dead or MADMAN to be a screamer. She discusses the hot tub scene, some drama that arose while shooting that scene, the legacy of MADMAN, and the film's following. Miss Ross explains why she used a pseudonym for the film, her work as a director of documentaries, and much more. As for the archival extras that are ported over onto this release, first up we get an interview with creator and producer Gary Sales. It's 14 minutes and 18 seconds in length. Mr. Sales discusses shifting his attention from music to film, getting work as a PA on adult films, the inception of MADMAN, the Cropsey legend, the film's longevity, its cult status, and more. Next we have Alive at 35, a featurette with Gary Sales, Paul "MADMAN" Ehlers, and Richie actor Tom Candela. It's 21 minutes and 2 seconds in length. This is cool because it's shot inside Paul Ehlers' home, and he shows off some of the MADMAN collection that he owns. They discuss how Paul was initially just supposed to paint the poster for the film, but got cast to play MADMAN. They discuss the shooting location, shooting in the late fall. They share fond memories from the set. Sales discusses his desire to reimagine the film, and more. Next we have The Legend Still Lives, 30 Years of MADMAN. It's a feature-length making-of documentary by Victor Bonacore. It features interviews with cast, crew, and fans of MADMAN. It's 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 42 seconds in length. Anything and everything that you could possibly want to know about MADMAN is in this documentary. We get the original theatrical trailer, a still gallery, and TV spots. We get the In Memoriam featurette. It's a tribute to late co-writer and director Joe Giannone and actors Tony Fish Nunziata and Fred Newman. It's 5 minutes and 46 seconds in length. We get music inspired by MADMAN, which features MADMAN-inspired music by the likes of Darren Miller, Pizza Party, The Vicar of VHS, and Dead Pit. It's 13 minutes and 17 seconds in length. We get Dead Pit interview with Gary Sales and Paul Ehlers, which is 3 minutes and 39 seconds in length. And we get 2 audio commentaries, the first with director Joe Giannone, producer Gary Sales, and actors Paul Ehlers and Tony Nunziata. And we get an audio commentary with The Hysteria Continues. Overall, this is a killer new 4K UHD release for MADMAN from the folks over at Vinegar Syndrome. Both the picture quality and the sound quality are upgrades over the standard Blu-ray release. We get that brand new interview with Gaylen Ross. All the old extras are ported over, and we get this cool new slipcase to boot. If you picked up this new 4K for MADMAN from Vinegar Syndrome, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Lore of the campfire, telling of his horror, lost in the woods with the madman and the stars. MADMAN. Thank you to all my patrons and channel members. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and have a say in what content appears on my channel. Join me for monthly live streams and much more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.